2011, your 13 years in the NBA is coming to an end. What's that like for you mentally after having played Little League, high school, 4 years of college, 13 years in the pros? It's time to hang it up. What's that like?
Transitioning. What am I going to do now? Played one more year, went to Treviso, Colors of Benetton.
In Italy?
So Italy, I played 1 year. I'm like, I'm going to play a little bit. I was on the cusp, over time, and everybody's like, you're going to get old. You're going to get obsolete. Everybody's had that happen. You just get pushed out.
Yeah. You're 34, 35 at the time, right?
I'm going to still play. I'm going to play one more year, and I'm like, I'm going to go play one more year and see how it was. And it was a good experience. My 14-year-old son was born in Treviso. It was basically college two-a-days. It was a wake-up call. Early morning beach runs, weightlifting, individuals in the morning, and full 3-hour practice in the evening. We flew. If not, we drove, had a bus. I think bus driver could only drive for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and you had to take an hour break.
Wow.
So it was definitely more of a college kind of environment, but I got to go to Rome and Venice and Spain and Germany and saw a couple of ex-teammates that were there. It was a good experience, but it sort of got me to the point where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So
was it the difference in like NBA versus international play, or was it the fact that you'd already done it for now 14 years and you were just ready to hang it up?
NBA, you're catered to. I use this word loosely, but you're spoiled. Get what you want when you want it, however you want it.
I see.
Going overseas, you had a ton of guys that were younger guys that had been playing professionally since they were 13 years old. We had one gentleman, nicknamed Bulo, and he was, I think when I was there, he might have been like 45, 46 years old.
Wow.
And he was in the best shape of his life. And I'm just looking at him, and he played for 30 plus years professionally. He doesn't play now. I'm assuming, I hope so.
He's got to be 60-some now.
Yeah, he's doing that, and I'm just looking at it. It's different. Being in Europe and being here, where every other street corner you have a McDonald's or a Taco Bell or a Whataburger or a Fizz or Chick-fil-A or Cane's. You have that. There it was, you have a niece and you have a 9-course meal. You're eating healthy and it's small snacks. It was different for me looking at it how it is of going to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And then here you're going to have like 5 different meats. You're going to have fish. You're going to have chicken. You're going to have pork. You're going to have beef. You're going to have all these other things, and you have your pastas, and you have that. I learned a little bit more about myself in terms of just exposing myself to something completely different than what I was just used to.
Yeah. You mind talking about your 2 oldest volleyball player daughters?
Yeah, okay. What do you want to know?
A professional athlete, you saw what you saw, you experienced what you experienced. Now you have children who are going down the athlete route. Is there like expectations from you as a father that your children have to succeed, or do you just introduce them to something and let them do what they do?
I think if those are my only 2 options, they got to succeed. At what? That wasn't going to be determined whether it was athletics or not.
Okay.
I always said succeed. Start how you want to finish. Be the best at it. If it's a watermelon spitting contest, I want you to be the best at it and put 110% into it. If it's the longest fart, I want you to be the best at it.
Let it rip.
Let it go. It wasn't about the sports.
Okay.
Things have changed a little bit. Being a father right now, you want to make sure that your kids are set up in a situation where they can do and handle whatever life throws at them. There was a ton of times I wasn't there. I wouldn't say a broken household. We were getting divorced at that time. My kids were there. I had to go and play 8 months, 9 months. I don't think you really understand it until you're a parent. When you're a kid, it's like, hey, I didn't have this, I didn't want this. Kids are selfish from the very get-go. When they come out of the womb, it's like, feed me, change me, hold me. And that's just kind of how it is. You really don't understand it until you become a parent. When you become a parent, you understand how it is to be selfless. And so for me, it was one of those things. I wanted what was best for them. We traveled, we went to volleyball after volleyball after volleyball after volleyball. It was one of those things of you pursue your kids' heart. You don't pursue, their wants and desires. You pursue their hearts and their passions. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. I wanted them to be successful. I mean, your parents are pretty much the only people in your life that are going to want you to do better than they did. Mm. There's no one else. I really don't believe that. I really believe your parents, I want you to do better than what I did. Everybody else always has this thing of, I want you to do good, but I don't want you to be better than me. For me, I wanted them to do, and I had no idea their accomplishments, but they're accomplished. They work hard at everything. I've seen the trials and tribulations. I've been there throughout the steps of them developing into the players that they are right now. And you kind of see a final product right now.
Yeah. So they did elect to go into sports and they're very successful, like you said. What is it like watching Madisen and Avery actually compete at the level they're competing in?
I said this would be arrogant and cocky. I would expect for them to be where they are right now.
Okay.
I've seen the work at home. Conversation pieces. I've seen the crying, the difference of not really comprehending and understanding some of the steps of happening. It's kind of hard sometimes being a dad, and I've had these conversations before. I'm dad, but I'm also a professional athlete. I know what it takes to get to the highest pinnacle level of my sport. They've had to learn by failure, and that's what I said before. You learn by your past previous mistakes. This is what I would have done differently. This is what I would have done. This is why I didn't do it this way. But ultimately, they got to make their own decisions. Grades, excellence. I will be that contradictory guy. I don't really know if I care if my kids get all A's, to be honest with you.
Same here, man. I used to.
I did. I wanted it. I wanted them. You got to be excellent at everything. And I'm like, does it really matter if you got an A in that social studies? Like, no, it really is not. I think I'd rather have my kids be respected, not necessarily well liked, comfortable, being able to understand and comprehend. I want them to have street smarts, but I want them to have social smarts too as well. Those things are probably more important. Some people are going to be like, I want my kid to have an A. I've had some parents that are like, I don't want him playing for you. He has a B in his class right now. He should have an A. And I'm like, that's just trivial right now. I have a ton of friends that are multimillionaires right now that did not go to school. My job to go to school is to get a job. And if you can find your calling and your liking to do that, you can still be successful without having an education. I feel like some people feel like if you just go to school, you're a smart individual. And I really don't believe that. I know that's contradictory. I want my kids to go to school. You're going to go to school every day. But I think that's more to give me a little bit more alone time than for anything else.
Some selfish
implications. Yeah, some little selfish time. I can go fishing.
Okay, so you bring up an interesting point. You have this idea where the grades are not as important, but you did finish your degree at Baylor. So did your mentality change, or was that just something you wanted for you that you're not going to enforce on others?
I promised my mom I was going to finish. Yeah, I mean, at that time, grades were a little bit different. You know, you're looking at summa cum laude and magna cum laude. I promised my mom. That was more of a promise. If I promise something, I'm going to make sure that I follow through with it.
Okay.
If I don't, I can back out anytime. I didn't promise you. It was just more for me with kids. I want you to give your best. Give 110%. There's some times that you're just not going to be able to comprehend something. I mean, I was horrible at math. I was bad. I took, I think, calculus, and I took 2 tests, and it was like 71, 70, and I could still opt out. I'm like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, where am I going to use this? Where am I not going to use this? I don't even know where I want to be. You know, I want to be a firefighter or a policeman. Like, I'm not going to need to use calculus for this. For my kids, whatever it is, I want them to be able to finish it. If they start it, I want you to start how you finish it. I think this is important to hold yourself accountable. But in terms of grades, I want them to give their best. If they're going to do something, I don't want you to give a half effort attempt at trying to do it. As long as I know my kid did what they needed to do, and the reason why they have a lower grade is because they tried and they asked for the help and they still didn't do it. If they didn't ask for the help and they failed at it, then I'm going to tell them that you got to speak up. You know, you have assets and tools here for us to be able to utilize that. But I'm not necessarily an A or A plus. I don't know any job applicants that have gone to a job right now and they've said, hey, so what did you make on that that history test back in 1989? I don't know what I made. It's not important. I think when you go to college, what people sometimes look at is you have a slip of paper, and I'm going to say it. You have a slip of paper and you got 4 years, and that I know that you're dedicated because you finished 4 years of high school. I know you had to go through middle school in order to get there. And if I hire you, and I know you got this piece of paper, I hope that when I hire you that you're not going to mess up my business that I put my hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into right now, that you're somewhat dedicated. But I have a ton of people that are so smart, and they put themselves in situations where they didn't do the little small things right now. And you had someone that was an intern for 5 years, and who did they hire?
Yeah.
They hired the intern.
Yeah.
And they didn't have as good of grades as this person did, but you have the life experience that you need to have right now. So You know, you could be a welder, you could be sanitation engineer, you could be a ton of different things right now. I don't think that you have to necessarily get all A's or all B's. I think that there's a lot more to it. And it's a thin line.
Yeah.
Some people are going to disagree with me.
Pretty cool. All right. Well, that's all I got. Brian, I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. It's pretty cool insight on your playing career and post-career. And I like talking to you on and off camera. So it's been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.